Sanity problem. A tank initially contains 200 liters of fresh water. Brine containing 2.5 Newton per liter dissolved salt runs into the tank at a rate of 8 liters per minute, and the mixture, kept uniform by stirring, runs out at the same rate. How long will it take for the quantity of the salt in the tank to be 180 Newton? In 10 minutes, determine the concentration of the salt. So, okay, I think pinaka-importante nga yung titigam na din mga formula. May formula for the rate at which the salt, okay, the amount of salt, let's say the amount of salt, we let the amount of salt be x, okay, let x be the amount of salt. In Newton yan, of course, naka-Newton kasi, the amount of salt, let x be the amount of salt. So the rate at which the salt within the solution is changing with time, that is the dx over dt, diba? The dx over dt is equal to, ang formula yun din is the rate R1 times C1 minus R2 times C2. Where R1, that is the rate han pagsulod, and C1 is the concentration, R2 is the rate han pagguwas, tapos C2 naman is the rate, the concentration. The concentration. Okay. Now, another formula that you need to consider is yung C2. Para makita nga C, at hindi lang C1, hindi lang C2, yung C. Yung C, the concentration is equal to the amount of salt over the total volume at any time t. Okay? At any time t. Take note nga sometimes volume is very constant. That happens if the rate at which the solution is ang pagsulod ba? Ang pagsulod nga tuhan container is kung mas makusugan ang pagsulod kaysa ang pagguwas, ibig sabihin ma-increase ang volume, di ba? If ang pagsulod is mamahinay kontra ang pagguwas ang solution, ibig sabihin ma-decrease ang volume. So kung magpareho nga ni ang rate, ibig sabihin constant ang volume. Just like this case, yun nga problem. Kasi nasa rin problem, saring man, at a rate of 8 and the mixture is keeping by stirring, runs out, ada man, nasa rin man. The mixture is kept uniform by stirring, runs out at the same rate. Ibig sabihin, ang pagsulod ng pagguwas, magpareho. So, ibig sabihin, the volume is constant. Okay? But if the volume is not constant, to determine the volume at any time t, that is just equal to the rate, initial volume, or that is VO or VI man. Initial volume, VI, plus the difference in rate, han pagguwas ngan han pagsulod. So, han pagsulod, that is the rate 1 minus the rate 2 times t. Ang pagsulod, mas daho ang pagsulod ng pagguwas, ma-increase ang volume. Okay. So, ini lang tutulo tim kailangan i-memorize. This one, and this one. Okay? So, if R1 and R2 are the same, ma-cancel out la ini, magiging 0 man iton. So, your total volume at any time t is equal to the initial volume. Okay, so, okay. Pagkuhan kita illustrate. Let's illustrate here. Mag-draw kita yung illustration. Okay. May nakita initial volume, VI. That is equal to, pera ba ang initial volume? 200 liters. 200 liters siya. Tapos ang aton x, ito kang kuha x sub 1 to represent that. X sub 1 is the initial volume or the original, not volume, original amount of salt dissolved. Wala naman. So what I salt, so your x sub 1 here is 0. 0 siya because fresh water man. Diba? Fresh water. So, waray. Tapos may daw nasulod. May nasulod. Tapos may nagawas. Okay. Ang nasulod, an air rate, let's denote this as R1. Ang nasulod an air rate is 8 liters per minute. Tapos ang iya concentration, C1, ang iya concentration, 2.5, naman, 2.5 of dissolved runs into the tank. So, 2.5. 2.5 nga salt, 2.5 Newton nga salt per liter. Yan. Tapos, ang nagawas naman, same rate daw eh. So, R sub 2 is equal to 8 liters per minute. Tapos, ang iya concentration, di kita maaram, di ba? Wala gin mention ang concentration. Pero maaram kita at formulate concentration, it's here, that is X over VT. Okay. So, isosolve lang natin ang VT. VT, constant man siya, di ba? VI is 200. R1 plus. R1 and R2 are equal. So, that's just equal 8 minus 8 times T. So, your VT is equal to 200. Oh, constant siya, ang iya volume. So, ang aton concentration 2 is equal to X over VT, where VT is 200. So, this is just equal to X over 200. Okay? O, may dala kita. Sunod naman natin gagamitin ityan hi. That is dx over dt. Okay, so start ko ha. That is dx over dt is equal to C1 R1 minus C2 R2 or R1 C1. Okay lang yan, nagbalo na kasurat. Okay. dx over dt, we already have the value of C1, pero ang C1? 2.5. It's right here. 2.5 times 8. So this is 2.5 times 8. This is equal minus C2, adiyan natin C2, x over 200. X over 200 multiplied by R2 is also 8. Right? Simplify natin. This is dx over dt. This is equal to 2.5 times 8. That is equal to 20. Minus 8 over 200. 0.04. This is 0.04x. Okay? You can rearrange this to make it look like a linear equation. A linear DE. Bukuan natin niya para maging linear siya. We can rearrange this. This is now our working equation. Pwede natin rearrange siya. So, this will be dx over dt plus, ito transpose ko, 0.04x is equal to 20. Di ba aman yan nasugad kangina nga ni? Dx over dt plus, I don't know if you can still remember, x times pt is equal to qt. Di ba linear iton kangina? Ang formula. This is the standard equation. Standard differential equation. Okay, tas kailangan natin ma-solve an phi, which is equal to e raised to the integral of pt dt. Di ba? Tas ang natin solution is x times phi is equal to the integral of phi times qt dt plus c. Yun. Okay? Sige. First, let us solve for the value of phi. Okay, so solve natin lang ang phi. Your phi is equal to e raised to the integral of p of t. Your p of t is 0.04. Okay? 0.04. Yes. 0.04 dt. Okay. So your phi therefore is equal to e. 0.04 is constant. So this will be integral of dt is t. So this will be 0.04 T. Yan. So this is your phi. So an atom solution, this is x times phi, which is e raised to 0.04 t, is equal to the integral of e raised to 0.04 t times qt, which is 20, right? This is dt pa, dt plus c. Yan. Then, copy. 20 is constant, pwede ko igawas. Then, integral of e raised to 0.04 t is, meron na mo correction factor nga 1 over 0.04, but that's just equal to e 0.04 t plus c. O, sunod. It imo problema yan na is the value of c. Paano nimo isosolve it c? Mabalik it relate problem. Nasa ring, may nakita arbitrary, may nakita dapat makikita dida nga boundary condition. An boundary condition usually is anyan hi. Okay? An initial volume kasi niya is 200 liters. An imo naman x, an amount of salt is 0. Your time also here is equal to 0, di ba? When t is equal to 0, the amount of salt in the solution is 0. So, masaring ka din. The amount of salt daw is 0. So, this will be, ano ba? Pwede natin, before anything else, let us simplify. So, this will be x is equal to, dividing both, para. Divide both side natin hin e raised to 0.04t. So, didigihap e raised to 0.04t. This will cancel out. This will cancel out. Pero may may niya denominator. So, this will be x is equal to 20 over 0.04. That is 500. 500 plus c over e 0.04 t. We will solve for the value of c. When t is 0, x is 0. So, masaring kita. If t is equal to 0, x is equal to 0. Substitute mo lang. 0 is equal to 500 plus c over e raised to 0.04 times 0. Notice nga imo unknown ladi is c. Pwede ka man mag-shift solve lang, di ba? To solve for the value of c. Okay. Unfortunately, hindi ko maipapakita how to solve. Basta i-shift solve mo na lang, solving for c. That is, your c is equal to negative 500. Your c is equal to negative 500. So, mabalik kita rin ang ating original equation. Your x, therefore, is equal to 500 plus, ang sinin mo, negative 500 over e raised to 0.04 t. So, to answer the first question, how long, so time it can be biling, how long will it take for the quantity of the salt in the tank to be 180 Newton? So, 180 Newton, that is the amount of salt. That is the x. Mabalik kita nga diha, ubos. Kung bagay pakiana, t if x is equal to 180 Newton. So, masaring ka didi. This is 180 is equal to 500 plus negative 500 over e raised to 0.04 t. She's solved na naman. What's the value of t? Your t is equal to
11.157.
11.
11.1571.
1571. Let me see the answer in the 11 point with the answer. Minutes. Siguro that's correct. 11.157 kasi 11.2 man in here. This is in minutes. That is now your final answer. Okay. Kung pakiana, sunod nga pakiana. In 10 minutes naman, determine the concentration. Concentration can be biling ha. So that is this. It can be biling concentration. So for you to be able to solve for the concentration, you need to solve for the value of the x first, or the number of salt. Okay? In 10 minutes. So, Mabalik kita diyan aton original equation. Ay to. This is our original equation. We will try to solve for the value of x. X naman that mean bibiling, di ba? When t is equal to 10 minutes. Okay? Sama naman ito niya. This is x. X is equal to 500 plus negative 500 over e raised to 0.04 times 10. So your x will be equal to
164, 83, 99.
8399 or 84 na lang tatibutang nito. This is in Newton. Tapos ang bibiling concentration. Concentration is equal to x over the volume, di ba? Constant malaan volume. X is 164.84 over, pero ba constant? Pero ang volume to 200 liters. Diba? Ada man natat concentration x over 200. So 200.
0.28242.
0.824. Siya ba?
824.
824. 825 it iya.
8242.
Siguro lang siya. Matter of points. Siguro sa point lang yan. Okay. So this is now your concentration. Okay. Okay. Okay, wrap up kita didi before kita kumatit Laplace. Okay. Ini nga tutulong nga equation, formulas. This is very important. Ini nga tutulo. Take note that Vt is not always constant. Ini nga Vt. And at any time t ha. It's actually a function of time. That is, if the R1 and R2 are not, if R1 and R2 are not equal, your Vt will not be constant. It will be a function, it will be a variable, a function of time. Okay? So, kung imo nga nit ibutang didi, kita anagon. An aton V is this one, the 200. Kung maging function of time iton hiya, so, pananglitan lang ha, pananglitan. This is just pananglitan lang siya. Kung as a function of time hiya, so may singon ta may niya t dida. So may dadi over t. So tatatabuhin ni may dani mo hini nga equation. May dani mo dx over dt tas may dani mo constant. Usually constant kasi in hiya permi. Kasi yung C1 tsaka yung R1 is always given. May dani definite nga given. Okay? Usually constant yun siya. It yan hinaman, usually, na-involve ito hiyahin hin x, danay na-involve hin t. That is especially if the volume of the solution is not constant. Kung constant nga ni, as a function of x lang siya. Now, for this case, may niya t, haubos. Okay lang yan. Kasi, di ba, kita anagon niyo, it aton linear. Di ba, may da x, tas may da pa niya t. Diba? As a function of t, tas may pa niya x. Okay lang yan. That's why, an akong approach din is linear. Anyway, if you will notice, inihiya nga equation, ini. This is our equation, our working equation for this problem. This one. This can actually be solved using variable separable. Okay? Pero diri na niya solvable for variable separable kung may niya TDD. Di ba? That is why gin-approach ko na lahiya as linear. Pero ini nga type of problem, this one. This is not sometimes pwede siya ma-solve using variable separable. Sometimes pwede siya ma-solve most of the time. Actually, hindi lang most of the time. All of the time, pwede siya ma-solve for using linear. Yan. But sometimes you can solve using variable separable. Yan. Okay.